What you doing, Meow?
Go over this way.
Where? What you doing? He said there's all those little cats outside. I want to go be the boss. I want to reign over the cats. I will be the king. I will be the cat king. Sally! You're a lover, Sally. You're not a fighter. Hello! Welcome to my tube.
Here he is. You're going.
My name's Marge. I'm Mahioka. This is Stanley coming up. Mahioka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Storms are coming over, so I don't know what connectivity. I don't know. We'll see. But it's just, it don't matter really what the circumstances are. If a message is supposed to get out, it's gonna. So, kitty, come and say hi. Meow. Ow. He's like, oh, I guess I'm the best midgeted caddis in the world right now. Aw, pretty kitty. Meow, meow. So today's a it's pretty uneventful day. It's pretty chill here. I guess parts of the nation are having heat waves. Red Bluff's 102. Portland's 104. Reading. So, gosh, tempers flare. I mean, I get pissy when it gets hot. When it gets hot outside, and there's like that, it doesn't ever relent, and it's like at 101 at 9 o'clock at night, and especially when you live in a city and you can just feel. And they love doing blacktop on everything all over the place. It's blacktop everywhere, so all that heat just soaks in to that, and it just sits there, and then it freaking just, you can just feel it coming on. It ain't practical. These parking lot pavers ain't practical, man. Anyway, I saw they were doing one of the hotels. There's a lot of hotels. There's a tourist place where I live in Taos, North New Mexico. There's a lot of tourists. You have a lot of people that have second homes here, maybe third or fourth homes, who knows. They don't live here full time. They just come in here, freaking act like jerks, and then take off back to their toilet-shaped homeland next door. Kitty.
He's in the window over here.
So I was thinking of why, they have the whole system of economics. I just like talking about let's talk about how things really are. Let's just put it out there, What if the news media hubs reported things as they actually happen, And how it would be if they would have conducted themselves the whole entire time. But these people that freaking have, the idea people, the people that are put in positions to have all the ideas in the world. Can't you believe the ideas that they're coming up with? Look at this. This was on Facebook a little while ago. Second round, $100 incentive. Now this is directly from the New Mexico Department of Health. Now, I bet 1 out of 10 of their employees might be fit, right? Department of Health, obesity causes way more problems than anything else. Causes heart attacks, causes diabetes, all this stuff, right? So look at that. Second round, $100 for, look at that. Some guy won $5 million because there's a lottery. You know how you could have dispersed that $5 million amongst, the 2.1 million people, 2.3 million people in this state. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps, but no, they make bad decisions. You know why they got in the positions? Nepotism. These people have lived in these cities, and they just have done nothing. Not much of anything. For a very long time. And now this is the world we get. And I live in one of the border states, and they are purging people, but the administration that's in charge these days, they love it. They love it when the borders are open, because where else can you get a surplus of human beings at their disposal, literally, that people aren't going to care or notice it come up missing. There's still freaking there's still kids freaking coming up missing all the time. What do people think happens to these children that come up missing, these 800,000 kids a year? I think a lot of parents just relinquish. They're like, I don't want to deal with it. So they do weird stuff and let their kids go. Well, I think a lot of parents love their kids and don't want anything bad to happen to their kids. But not every parent that freaking is born or that has kids feels that way about their children. And that's what I know people can't put their head around. There's a lot of parents in this world that puts their children in harm's way because of money. It's dirty and it's gross. It's just how it's always been. But people have their little horsey blinders on. They're like, no, that's not how it is. La, la, la. As they freaking benefit from the freaking gross, being parts of the gross entities that freaking profit from the nastiness. So, as long as time has gone by, I hated history because I never believed what it said. I hated school because it's just like they had one way that they want to test. There's one right answer. What about if a person was living this way and had this perspective? This answer could be viable for them. I always challenged everything and questioned everything, and freaking teachers hated me. I barely graduated high school, barely had a 2.0. Yeah. Got it like a 96 or 97 on the mechanical part of my ASVAB, though. Never took the LSATs, SATs, none of that. Not LSATs. LSATs were freaking law school. I worked at a law school, and every year the LSATs were a freaking nightmare. I even considered going to law school at one point in time. I'm not a very good typer. I hate typing. And I don't think they'd let me take my LSATs with dictations. If I could verbalize it, if I could speak and not type, yeah, but I don't do it. I'm not a typer. I don't get the typing gene. My brother got all the typing gene. He's one of those that it's like, I don't know, 92 words a minute, but his accuracy's like, I don't know. It's the accuracy that, as I understood it, that counts. Because people type all day long, but how many times are they doing the backspace? But it's definitely not amused. So, as long as history's been around, they have the guy that wins gets to tell the story. And sometimes these stories that they tell aren't exactly true, and they create these little clubs, these little entities, these little organizations, and they created economics. You can't just be a straight shooter and just trade this for that, have an even. No, you gotta freaking make up some bullshit notions like freaking compounded interest and all this freaking nonsense, right? That isn't applicable to the majority of the people on the planet. It's just really only fits for a small percentage of the people on the population, really. And so people, and then there's cycles that come around, and they track the cycles. And I know this stuff goes along with astrology. I ain't stupid. I know it falls in line, It's like, they stimulate the economy. There's certain times that they promote war and stuff like that, promote more fear, to get people to spend more money than other. It's all games, and it's not even the fun kind of games. It's the made up stupid reindeer games. And you want to know why the prices of things are so freaking high? Because people choose the prices and the goods in which they sell. What are the people that freaking, the multi-millionaires that have multiple properties, where are them? Hey, how much, I'll give you this place for, $20,000, right? Pay me $1,000 for 20 months and the place is yours. You know, stuff like that. No, you gotta get banks involved. You gotta freaking double, triple the prices of things. Real estate is just, it's just another part of the trends, you know? And like the place that I live, this real estate bubble's gonna pop. It's gonna pop. It's gonna pop. And it's gonna be like it was back then, you know, so prices are gonna drop. I'm like, I look on Zillow a lot for places, for a permanent place for me and mom. And it's like, there's this place up the road here. It's a 2-bedroom. I'm pretty sure it's a 2-bedroom, maybe 2-bath. $349,000. It ain't that big of a deal. It's just a little, you know, it has a little wood barn next door. You know, you can park your lawnmower or whatever in it. And it's just like, man, it just never ceases to amaze me that the price that people think their shit is worth, you know? And dental. There's a lot of people around here, they don't got insurance, you know? They got all kinds of dental problems, you know? Stress causes a lot of problems in the dental area. People don't have any idea of what stress, the problems, the health problems that freaking stress causes. Because they don't live in a stressful world. So it's like, oh yeah, everybody else, they just need to get over it. Just get over it. I love those people, the get over it people. They ain't never freaking been through jack shit in their lives. They always got somebody to take care of them or bail them out. But they so freely dole out the get over it's. I got a freaking laundry list of stuff that I've gotten past, you know. I still manage to live mostly a joyful life. There's periods of times that I get stressed out and stuff like that. That's when I'm supposed to turn more and rely more on my higher power, God, Holy Spirit, you know? And it doesn't matter how uncomfortable I get. I don't get to freaking lie. I don't get to cheat. I don't get to steal. I don't get to be a freaking shady, you know, scoundrel. Because the world has more of those. So I'm supposed to be this, you know, I'm supposed to act and show people, yeah, you can give $100 away to a total stranger on the street. People are like, you can't do that. No, you can't. No, you don't do that because you're a cheapskate motherfucker, you know? Because you're, you know, because people that have, that's why they have so much money, is they're scoundrels and they hog it all to themselves. See, energy, I always look at money as energy, okay? Energy. We have enough to pay our bills, to satisfy the freaking hogs that are the freaking utility companies and stuff like that, you know? So we got money to cover, you know, because God has blessed us that we don't got to worry about that, right? Right? But see, I will never be rich because energy is supposed to flow, you know? All these freaking egomaniacal, freaking rich, freaking crazy mofos, it's like they take the money and it stops with them. They stop the flow. That's bad karma. That's why I'll never be rich. Keep 49% for me and give away 51% to other people who need it, because there's always people in need. This planet will never be without people with need because of the people on the top, not because of the people that are in need. No, poverty consciousness is those people at the top, the one that were supposed to create trickle down economics, and they didn't. They just kept it all for themselves and then went flying around in the freaking, you know, upper freaking, it's lower atmosphere. But it's just all freaking nonsense, man. People don't know how to be generous. People know how to be with withholding. People feel so slighted and so shortchanged and so hurt. Man, I love those people. Crack me up. That like to say, listen to those people that like to say, you're living in the past. 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, in 3 questions, I can prove and verify how they themselves were living in the past. Usually in 3 questions. Love it. Cracks me up. Cracks me up. People tell you who they are and what they are, by telling you who you are. I get it all the time. People are, I'm a know-it-all. I'm like, how often do I say the older I get, I feel like the less I know in this life? So who are these, my whole life people have been trying to define me by their words. I just don't let them. I used to. It's been a long road for me. I used to be this painfully shy little tomboy with this speech impediment that was, I was always afraid. I was so afraid to ask what I needed emotionally. I just never did. I just learned how to navigate through life with never making declarations of what I need in a relationship of any kind. Just go without. It's easier that way. I became painfully independent. Painfully overly independent. All to come to the point to realize that we need people in this life, man. People need people. You can't get through this life without it completely solo. Even old boy, that guy, that 81-year-old dude, he was a squatter. Lived for, decades in this place, and then the owners of the property didn't want him there anymore, so they threw him in jail, and he gladly told the judge, I'll just ride away in here, I don't care, And then the place burned down. The story continues. His place burned down. Fires out there, wherever he lived in. But he had, because the story had gained enough traction that there are people all over the U.S. offering the man a place to live the rest of his days out, how he sees fit. There's a group of people that are making this planet. They have an idea of how things as they should be, and it's set in stone with these people. The thing of it is, you can't make a world. There ain't no way they're making a world for everybody to live in. It's just for a few, and that's what's so weird to me. Like all this division, they're doing it on purpose, man. I haven't trusted anything that any government has done since I was in the Air Force, because I had too many examples of the bullshit and lies, and then it really got to the point one day I started asking myself, when has the government ever said anything true? And nobody can seem to answer that. Nobody ever can seem to answer that. Is because everybody knows it's bullshit. It's acting. It's pageantry. It's silly made-up reindeer games, and they use a lot of resources in doing that, and it creates a lot of strife, and just the lack of empathy on the planet. It's baffling to me, man. People don't get it. I've been telling people 3-4 years, crack society only getting wider. They're only getting wider. You got to help more people. People need help, These systems aren't working. You can't get through I'm freaking college educated, I know my way around systems, but if people don't feel like helping you or want to help you, they don't care. They're going to get their paycheck anyway. It don't matter if freaking people actually get the help that people need. I was seeing stuff on Twitter today about like the unvaccinated should get gassed, and I just like, dude, this stuff is not any different than like the 60s. Because so many people are having their DNA is waking up, man. Their DNA is waking up. There's a version of how people are supposed to be the best version of themselves. And people ain't striving for that, man. They're striving for the easier, softer, comfortable way to live in life. Soft, cushy, wussy, squishy. People don't work for nothing anymore. Man, that's why the infrastructure is shit, man. They pay themselves 6 figures, but nobody goes out and does the hard work. They don't. They freaking sit in their big old new trucks and find a nice shade tree and take a nap. Yeah. It's hard to watch. It's just how it is, man. The American dream is a nightmare, really. It really is. The whole... I mean, I think about just how, like, the human traffic... How many people are in positions working at a place that they absolutely hate, surrounded by people they don't like, but they have to act like they like them every single day because you're playing a game, you're playing a role. So I never played a role. I was always me in just different places. I just ain't never really fit nowhere. You know? But the people, there's not really much longevity in like career corporate USA anymore anyway. And it hasn't been like that for like 10, 12 years. It's like, and I worked in a pretty good, Omaha's a pretty good substantial city. There's a lot of headquarters, and there are companies that I wouldn't work there on purpose just because I didn't have any respect for what they represented, you know? And there are places that I worked at that I kind of wish I hadn't, you know, but it's all a learning experience. And what I did come to find out is that people just go from place to place to place. You know, the thing of it is how you act in these places while you're there 2-3 years. You know, in the IT, it's like you have people that leave, and it's like they don't leave any kind of turnover, any kind of like job, you know, what they did in their job. It's just like if something breaks, you know, people got to scramble to figure out how to fix it because old boy who left was the only one that knew, but he never told anybody. And that's what they do, is they create their job security by keeping their mouth shut, and then when they leave, you gotta freaking reinvent the wheel and stuff. It's just, I've seen, you can really tell how a person is, like when they give notice. At Creighton, when you work at Creighton, they just give you vacation. You put in your 2 weeks notice. They just say, "Hey, thanks for coming." You know, they give you the rest because they don't want you to spitefully mess anything up. Because I guess they are people that spitefully mess things up. I don't know. That's a weird place. That's one of the places that I feel dirty for working at. Place is creepy, man. The red bricks. Hearing the story about the red bricks on the main cobblestone that came from Chicago. It's just all very gross. But people don't believe that stuff happens. I'm like, dude, you walk on it every day and you pay freaking $60,000 a year for your bratty kids to walk on it and live in the dorms and be a part of it. You want to know what a university's like? Freaking listen to their police blotter. Read their police blotter. There's always freaking bad stuff happening on college campuses. But you pay to be there. It's really weird. But I understand the culture's changing now. You know, a lot of places, there's a lot of places you can't go no more unless you freaking take it. Unless you take it. You can't go to school anymore. So you got people put all this money into their school, and if they're adamantly not willing to freaking comply with this freaking bullshit that they're trying to push on people, then what, you just don't get to finish college? Yep, sorry for you. You have a choice. Don't you love how they tell you that you have a choice about stuff when people really don't have choices? They really don't. There's always a choice. You know, doing things that you can live with yourself, or doing things that you can't live with yourself. There's a lot of things that I can't do because I can't live with myself if I do those things. You know, but there's a lot of people that stuff that, just that conscience, that little voice in them that says, no, don't do that, don't hurt them, don't cheat there, don't steal, don't lie about. They don't got that, and they just navigate on this planet, just going around doing whatever they want. Like there's no consequence to that at all. Well, I do believe that there are consequences related to self-will running riot. And I believe that we are all living the consequences right now of people living from their will and not from their heart. No. Because if people were living from their heart, the place would be a lot different than it is now. Luna, don't you be mad at Tuck. So, water. I'm drinking out of California. What else? So, yeah. I'm waiting to see all this new innovation that's coming out. And I really don't give a crap about AI. I think AI already lives and already exists based on the fact alone that freaking media can just put out stories and they don't necessarily need to be true or backed by any kind of facts or anything. They just put these stories out and okay, it's real, you know. So that's artificial intelligence when people are buying stuff that oh man did I mean, come on. I never really bought even into the Santa Claus thing. I think I stopped, you know, like man, they really push this stuff, you know. And who's a jerk? Telling little kids that Santa ain't real and your parents are liars? Who's a jerk? I think all the parents that have been lying to your kids for years and years, I think y'all are the jerky ones. And quite frankly, you can go ahead and just end Christmas because, I mean, it's like, how many people go into debt just to freaking buy a bunch of people that have been ungrateful for stuff all year long, but then they act nice because what Santa's watching is the dumbest stuff ever, man. These are the ideas that they come up with, man. We could have heaven on earth, fruit trees, vegetables everywhere, you know, free travel all over because human beings are the freaking brilliant. Let's come up with borders and states and boundaries and stuff like that, and we'll designate who can go where at what time with what. It's just all this control stuff, man. I'm constantly thinking about the world as a place that didn't have all these restraints. It's a nice idea. But, I mean, I go into a restaurant, went to the coffee shop today, and everybody had it on again. I'm like, well, that was a nice week or so, you know? Because of whose recommendation? That's the thing, is like, I will always come back to me. I'm not going to have a bunch of freaking lazy fat people that get sick every time the wind blows a different direction because their immune system is crap. I'm not going to have them tell me what I need to do to my body to stay healthy when I haven't had a cold in 15 years. Just by taking care of yourself. The good old-fashioned way. It's just stupid, man. It's stupid. And I get that fearful people want you to be like them. They want you to be scared too because they're scared. Because they're chicken lily sissy ninnies. And they're scared. They don't got a God. They may talk about having a God and faith in God, but it ain't real because if it was real, they wouldn't be so fearful because you can't be fearful and faithful at the same time. They're entirely two different vibrational frequencies, and they don't run adjacent. They don't. So you're fearful. And you're liars for saying you're not fearful. For saying you're faithful, you're a liar. And how many doctors that are freaking prescribing stuff, they don't care. They don't care about the patient. The patient's just a number. How many doctors don't take on patients because they don't want to wreck their stats? How many people lose their lives under those circumstances? You know? We got a bigger problem, man. The hypocritical oath. People taking $4 or $5 million freaking annual pay incentives and stuff like that, you know. And but when you go on vacation, what the people that are, it's just weird, man. Bottom line, stuff became more important than people on this planet, and God's like, okay. He and Luciferi, they sat in the same room, and it's like, all right, we got free will. This is the stuff we're doing with it. What kind of holy hell are we going to give them? Because they're not learning. They're not learning. That they're all connected, that they all should be working together, they all could be having heaven on earth, but no, they got these weird ideologies, because I guess it's just easier to perpetuate the Lucy fairy tale theater than it is to frickin', deny yourself of frickin' earthly frickin' sensational urges and stuff like that. Consuming things. The things that people consume to make themselves feel better. It's just like, why don't you just act a way that makes yourself feel better? Then you don't gotta eat that pot roast like Grandma used to make. When you're extra sad. There's healthier alternatives. There's always healthier alternatives. Meditate state. Man, that just disconnecting from this 3D plane and tapping in to your higher power. I always understood meditate state is listening and receiving data, information from my prayer time when I'm praying to God, Holy Spirit. Yeah, then I gotta meditate to receive. It's kind of cool. Took me a long time to learn how to meditate state. Man, that has been my saving grace over the last few years. Yeah. Because all you got to do is know that there's some out there that's bigger than you that's running this show. And that things will be okay. As long as you live in an okay kind of way. A lot of people aren't living in an okay kind of way. But that's okay, because there's been years in my life that I didn't live in an okay kind of way. And any time, any second, any day that I decide to flip a script, I can take my self-will back anytime. And I can go back to living in a not okay way. But the consequences of that doesn't seem like a whole lot of fun to me. So I'm just going to go keep doing what I feel God wants me to do. Just keep sharing my testimony. Just keep sharing the trials and tribulations and try and let people know that you can get through this incarnation with some semblance of joy and happiness. Doesn't have to turn you. You don't have to turn dark. You don't have to sell out. You don't have to people can be comfortable and happy with not near what they think they might need. Go without water for a while. Have fun with that whole thing. Then you people will have a much better appreciation for water. That's the thing is there's so many people that haven't gone without stuff, so they got no idea what it's like, and more people are going. We're just go through life. New. Getting by. Curveball here, curveball there. So some of us are just better apt to handle situations than other people. There's most people. There's so many people. Dude, I was talking to the guy at the coffee shop today. I was like, man, I see. I think about things that I went through when I was like 12 years old. And I see 12, 13-year-olds now that I don't think they can draw their own bath. I really don't. It's like people just, they got so caught up with creature comforts that they forgot to be self-freaking supporting. Just as a human being. It's going to make it weird this next part, but what are you going to do? Find your same freak tribe. Find a couple buddies, people you can talk to, get the, laugh with. Laughter, man, is so important. Laughter is the best. That laughter raises people's vibration like nothing else. Laughter is a very, very good medicine. So, and if you're feeling lonely, I don't know, I always pray. I pray all the time. I'm always praying. And the weird energy had been so weird the last few days. Just my anxiety, just the trepidation that I have in my vibrational field. I didn't like it. So I put my bare feet on the earth a lot. And so I ground it out. Because when I got energy I don't like, I give it to Gaia. I give it to Mother Earth. You take it. I don't want this. You can handle this a lot better than I can. So there's all kinds of little things that you can do to make yourselves feel better. I made some cookies last night. They turned out pretty good. Vanilla funfetti. Some have cinnamon in them, some of them don't. All in all, me and Ma, we got a good life today. For that, I'm grateful. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.